All right, everyone, get in here, sit down, and shut up. We've got stuff to talk about. These are my picks for Week 5. First, gotta let you know that the Lions, Titans, Eagles, and Chargers are all on bye weeks this week. If you're a fantasy player like myself, make sure you keep an eye on your lineups. First game we have to look at, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I can only imagine the Buccaneers win this one. I really like the Falcons this season. I think they're going to be a good team, and I think this is probably going to be a good game. In fact, I think the Falcons will just be involved in tons of good games this season. If you're a fan of football, I recommend watching them. I don't think that they're a top-tier team. I do think the Buccaneers are rolling in the right direction, though, and I think they will take this one. The Jets and the Vikings will be traveling to London to play in a 9:30 a.m. game on Sunday. I can't see past the Vikings here. The Jets, of course, if anybody knows how to beat the Vikings, the Jets have that quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He played against them forever. He didn't really play against them last year, though, so who knows how much has really carried over. But maybe some of the old Green Bay Packer Aaron Rodgers will come out and see the Vikings out of there in London and give them their first loss. But until the Vikings lose, I don't think I can pick against them. The Panthers are going to Chicago to take on the Bears, and I think the Panthers will get their second win of the season. I think the Bears will fumble at home, and literally, probably, Caleb Williams will probably have a bad game here, and Andy Dalton will probably see them through. I just like the Panthers for this one. I feel like most likely the Bears are probably the favorites, and any smart person probably picks them. I just have a hunch, and if I was going to pick an upset, it would be right here. The 2-2 Ravens, coming off 2 hot wins, will be going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This is bad news for the Bengals because the Ravens are cooking currently, and the Bengals here are trying to claw their way out of the basement. But it's not going to work. They're going to 1-4. They could still be a playoff team and hit a run here, but they're losing to the Ravens right now. Buffalo Bills going to Houston to take on the Texans, and I really like the Buffalo Bills here. I think they will rebound from their game against the Ravens here on Sunday night, I believe it was. Houston, I do think they're a good team, and I would love it if they beat the Bills for me because obviously I'm not a Bills fan, as being a Dolphin fan that I am. But overall, I think the Buffalo Bills will sort of treat the Texans kind of like the Vikings did. Indianapolis, coming off a win against the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, well, undefeated no more, that is, are traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, who are going to get their first win of the season here. I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will probably put up a huge game here and see the Colts out of there. So 1-4 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2-3 for the Colts after this game. The Dolphins, whose big excuse is they're playing with backup quarterbacks, are coming off an impressive loss where they lost to a backup quarterback to the Tennessee Titans to give them their first win of the season. They'll head to New England, who will get their second win of the season because the Dolphins are not going to beat them. It's not happening. The Dolphins suck. They're terrible. And even with Tua, I'm not even sure if they're going to be a good team this season. The Cleveland Browns heading to Washington to take on the Redskins, who I think is just going to roll straight through this game. They're a good team. They really are. And if Jaden Daniels stays healthy, I think they could win the NFC East, especially if the Cowboys keep sleeping like they have been. So if the Cowboys keep struggling, the Giants, Eagles aren't any competition this year. They are bad teams. I don't care who you are. The Eagles definitely are at least badly coached. Maybe they're not technically a bad team per se, but it's there for the Redskins to take, and I think they're going to take it. The Raiders going to Denver to take on the 2-2 Broncos, who may have just a hell of a defense right now. I can't see the Raiders beating them, especially not in Denver. Denver, and with the Raiders potentially trading Devontae Adams, there's just too much distraction for the Raiders to be heading to Denver to take on, with an away game. Broncos roll out of this one easy. It could be a shutout, in fact. Keep an eye on that. The Arizona Cardinals going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and the Niners will get back above 500 here and really start to kick into high gear. Cardinals, probably not a bad team, but I think Kyler Murray is just one of those guys who have an amazing game that makes everyone forget how bad the last 3 were, and I don't think he's there yet. Probably next week Kyler will have a great game, and everyone will be back on him saying, oh my God, he could just be the greatest, but I think he's just too inconsistent. Packers are heading to LA to take on the Rams. I think Jordan Love will get his first win of the season, but if he loses again, do they just go back to Malik Willis? I mean, come on. 0-3 from Love, 2-0 from Willis. Might just be best to go with Willis. The Giants will help the Seahawks get back on track after their loss to the Lions on Monday night. I think the Giants may have already won their last game of the season whenever they won that first one. What was that, week 1 or something? I can't even remember. But Seattle will just dismantle them here. I don't think there's any chance the Giants have. They might put up a few points, but I think it's going to be a blowout. Cowboys heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers in one of the NFL's classic matchups. I don't see the Cowboys winning this game. Steelers defense is going to rebound after a bad game against the Colts. I think the Cowboys will do what the Cowboys do and they'll put up a few points because they're not a bad offense by any means. I just think the Steelers are going to I think the Steelers are just going to grind out wins all year, and I think the Cowboys are ripe for it right now. I don't think the Steelers are going to have much problem here. Our final game of the week, the New Orleans Saints head to Kansas City to take on the undefeated Chiefs, who keep getting away with it. They can't keep letting them get away with it, but they do, and I think they'll continue to. I think the Chiefs will win this game because I don't believe in the New Orleans Saints, and that's just when they'll prove me wrong and put up 50 points on the Chiefs or something like that. But I really don't see that happening. I think the Chiefs will be fine here and grind out their primetime win like they always do. Those are my picks this week. Let me know down below if I picked against your team and tell me how stupid I am. If I picked your team to win, like the video because that's the thing to do. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss this. We got another wing review video coming out here soon, so I'd appreciate it if you stop by and watch that for me. But overall, thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know down below which ones I got wrong, and we'll talk about it. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope your team wins, unless you're a Dolphins fan, because we deserve to lose. Take it easy.